Buckle up for another episode of Ghostfacers, a supernatural rewatch podcast. My name is Richard, and sitting shotgun as always is my brother in podcasting, Reed.
Richard.
Oh my god, I'm seeing a bright white light.
Look for the sign.
Oh, I think I have to go
This episode requires schism.
I know what to do. Oh, let's get into it.
Ghostfacers! We're facing ghosts! We're others, we're not! We're ghosts! Ghostfacers! Stay in the kitchen when the kitchen gets hot! Ghostfacers! We're facing nightmare! We're facing dread! Ghostfacers! We're facing faceless! We're facing dead!
Welcome to Ghostfacers. Today we're discussing Season 2, Episode number 13. Ooh.
Oh,
spooky.
13. Yeah.
Houses of the Holy.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
Yeah. Nothing
Holy.
spookier than God,
It's true. Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. You better get some wood to patch up your house if it's so holy.
Yeah, if the house is holy, does it mean it has stigmata?
Yeah. Your house is pinned up itself against on the cross?
Yeah.
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 That works.
Yeah. My house has a hole in each hand and two in the feet.
What part of the hands and the feet?
Like right in the...
No. I mean on the house. What part of the
Oh.
house is the hand?
The wings.
The wings.
The east and west wings of the house.
Not everybody's house like mine and has wings of the house.
Oh, really? Do you mean some people just live in a house without wings?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Why?
So, this is when we suddenly become like super pretentious, like 1%ers.
Why bother?
Where are you going to put the two other vehicles you drive?
You're essentially homeless.
Yeah. This episode was aired February 1st, 2007.
Ooh.
Yeah, spooky.
We all remember where we were.
February 1st,
2007.
when that thing happened that we all remember.
Yeah. I don't remember where it
I
was.
was like, why try? February 1st. Being concerned about Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Probably convincing my then girlfriend that my now wife it was not hitting on me because at the time we were just friends.
Oh, just friends.
Yeah.
That's the ones you always got to be worried about.
Yeah, well, she was pining from afar.
Yeah, that's the thing. She wanted you, even though you're the one who showed up at her house begging her to date you.
Years later. Didn't deny the begging.
Just one date.
I swear to God, I'll pay your rent.
Oh.
I mean, that's also not true. She makes more money than I do.
Yeah, that's true. I know for a fact.
Yeah.
This episode was written by Sarah Gamble, directed by Kim Manners. Seems like a really
be
polite guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're comedy
And
geniuses.
his evil twin, Kim Rooters.
No, it's Kim.
His evil twin with just like a pencil thin mustache from the Mirror Universe.
It's Kim No Manners.
Oh. Yeah.
That's much less creative. Come on.
Yeah, it's much funnier that way.
Viewed by an estimated 3.37 million viewers.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
Pretty
not
solid.
too bad. I think that last episode was the one that did it.
I mean, it's down from last episode.
Oh, yeah. No.
Last episode was like 3.4 or something.
Yeah, you're right. Get your shit together. This episode.
Hey, by the way, how are our listens going? How's our viewership going?
3.3
People.
viewers.
3.3 people.
Yeah.
A third of a person.
Yeah. At least when I'm done with them.
Oh, Jesus.
International titles.
Oh, God.
Houses of the Holy is the name of a Led Zeppelin album.
Yes.
Let's see. Who do you think got it right?
Brazil.
No. Brazil.
I was thinking maybe like a religious country like Brazil. would
No.
Have
No.
it basically like that, or like France or something.
No.
Interesting.
It's
Italy? Did Italy get
No,
it right?
it was one I was surprised.
So none of the seats of Catholicism.
No.
Got it. Okay.
No.
Then I have-
Germany.
Oh, no.
And it's the only difference is it's not houses of the holy, it's house of the holy.
Okay, interesting.
But otherwise,
I mean, that's, I think, more accurate.
yeah.
Because
I
I
mean,
think there's only one church involved in
Yes.
this episode.
yes. House of the holy.
So the Germans just issued a correction, basically.
You almost have it correct, except for
This is a very good episode.
Yes.
We love everything you're doing with this. But
One note.
we noticed there's a pluralization that is unnecessary.
yeah.
And as you know, when something is unnecessary, you eliminate it.
Oh no! Oh no! We just put it down,
Oh, Jesus.
but is this a problem?
All right, who else got it? Anyone or just Germany?
Guess, yeah, just Germany.
Okay.
Number 2 is a big surprise. Who got it pretty close?
Poland?
Hungary.
What?
Hungary got it pretty close.
Step up your game, Hungary.
Home
Home of the holy.
pretty close.
Yeah.
Home of angels.
Oh, sure. Okay. There you go. Yeah.
Wow,
All
I was
right.
like, geez, finally pulling your shit together.
All right. Hungary.
Then Poland.
Poland.
They got one part right and the other part wrong, but pretty close.
Like Angel of Death or something.
That's
like
not
that.
one part right at all.
Well, I don't know.
It's houses.
There's death in this episode.
Houses of the god.
Oh, of the god.
Yes.
Right. We're still monotheists.
Yes.
But this guy owns property.
Yeah.
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 He makes bank. Then Brazil. Similar idea, but only using 2 words.
Okay. God house.
Close. Sacred houses.
Okay.
Yeah. Whose house? God house.
Sorry, I was pitching a comedy about a bunch of like young priests in the seminary. It's called God House. It's basically
Ooh,
like my
yeah.
version of Animal House, but they're priests.
And nothing happens.
And nothing happens.
No, nothing happened. What? Then finish. I barely started.
Yeah, I mean, this is weird for you because normally you finish early. Finish is like voice from on high or something like that.
Heading in the right direction. In the name of God.
Sure. Okay.
The final.
Italy?
No.
France?
Yes.
Priest Ghost.
Not far. Angel or demon.
Oh, sure. Okay. I mean, that's a little bit more like they're playing more coy than the French usually do.
What one is it? I don't know. Angel or demon.
And ultimately, it doesn't matter.
We are all just grains in the sand.
Your French accent is like slipping into something else.
I don't know what you're talking about. Jacques! I don't
Good.
know what you mean.
Good Lord.
Angel or demon.
Uh-oh. Or the third option.
Yeah. Or whatever's left.
Yeah, that accent's all over the place.
I don't know what you mean. I'm having a stroke.
Jesus Christ.
Featured music from this episode. Knocking on heaven's door.
Hi.
No, it's a Bob. It's a Bob Dylan version.
Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door.
Hi. Knocking on heaven's door.
You know what?
Hey.
On the sliding scale of how bad your accents and impressions are, that's pretty good.
Don't think twice. It's all right.
Let's not push it.
Hey.
Good. Here's my impression of Bob Dylan greeting someone. Hey.
Hey, I'm Bob Dylan. Nailed it. And the second song is Down on Love by Jamie Dunlap.
Don't know who that is. Do you know who Jamie Dunlap is?
Is a guy who races on foot and is like, hey, Dunlap.
Right. How about we just move on?
TV Guide describes.
I don't feel like this is going well.
The Winchester boys investigate the appearance of what seems to be an angel that imbues people with a strange homicidal bliss. And Sam is one of the people who falls under its spell.
Angel of Harlem. Angel.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Is Bono Vox in the studio right now?
Must be.
Yeah.
I can't. You couldn't have done that.
No.
Mm-mm.
No one can do what U2 does.
No one. I finally.
Hey, I'm the Edge. I'm going to play one string repeatedly.
But yeah, but then I got all these sweet effects on it.
He does have a lot of effects.
Man, I watched like a
So effects heavy.
there was like a episode documentary thing about them once, and I remember seeing like all of his boards and stuff, and like the crazy setup he has in the behind the scenes.
I mean, admittedly, some cool sounds, but also like maybe don't call yourself Edge.
Yeah, Edge. But why don't we get into the episode? But before we do, let's open up Dad's journal and learn about some of the real world lore about today's episode.
Yeah, let's see what the lore says about angelic visions.
Ooh.
Yeah, baby.
I believe I got a painting made of an angelic vision once.
I mean, no. So we're talking about
Angel
of Harlem.
So bad.
Just
Oh, Bono left.
like, why of all the songs that have the word angel in it, why did I think of that one?
I don't know. It does
When
not.
I could have thought of Shaggy.
Oh, Angel. Oh, that seems racist.
You're
Yeah.
my angel. You're my darling
Angel.
Wah.
Wah.
It's the penguin featuring the penguin.
Yeah. It wasn't me. Wah.
It wasn't me, Batman. Wah, 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 wah. You saw me banging on the counter.
No.
Showed him my French flipper trick.
Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Specifically, Danny DeVito's
Yeah.
penguin doing that.
You saw me banging on the sofa. Honey came in and she caught me red-handed,
Oh,
creeping with the girl next door.
oh, I don't like that. I don't like that you do the hand too.
Yeah.
You can't. I love that so much of your impressions are involving you doing the hand
I'm
movements.
an actor. I have to inhabit it,
Oh, I see. Okay.
even if no one can see
Why don't you act like you're a good host?
it. Okay, that's pot kettle. Yeah, so angelic visions. We're talking about visions of angels appearing to mortals, to humans, often to carry messages. So I went down like a weird internet rabbit hole a little
For the
bit.
first time ever.
Yeah, well, for the first time for the show.
It's the first time they didn't. The police didn't show up.
So I found a few things about like the language of angels and like shocking ways angels speak to us. So
To our bodies. What?
easy. So these
Angel of mine. Sorry. Continue.
so
Angel.
many believe that angels are meant to be messengers of God
Sure.
or a higher power.
Yeah.
The idea being that they have a message. It's either prophetic or it's either to like illuminate or to help guide or whatever. The way that they could maybe convey that is varied. Could be like literally, like vocally. It could be by like answering a prayer or
Sending like a you up text.
sending a sign or yeah. My folks out of town. You up?
Yeah. Is that by saying like God's not around?
Yeah. Oh no. I mean, that's a problem.
Uh-oh.
It could be like a form of telepathy. I've even seen them talk about music.
Ooh.
That like you might hear some people say that they heard like the heavenly choral or something like that. Like they heard.
Yeah, I remember one time I was listening to the radio and it felt like a heavenly voice. It went something like, "Hey now, you're a
Oh,
star.
sorry, I thought you were going to do Angel of Harlem again.
You're my darling angel."
We're doing so many things here. So those are ways that they might communicate. I also found like feelings and physical sensations.
Ooh.
Like it might feel like a light touch on your hand or a feeling of warmth or something like that. It could be that they appear in
No,
dreams.
baby, don't worry, it's an angel.
In dreams or through
Yeah.
dreams. It could be, this is my favorite one, human and animal helpers. Angels can
What?
communicate through human or animal helpers. For example, you might ask your angel for advice on a particular subject before you go to work, and then one of your coworkers will utter the exact words you need to hear. Or you might see an animal in nature and it seems to grab your attention very strongly, so you'll look up the symbolism of that animal and find it holds significance to you. That feels like a real stretch.
Yeah.
Because they're saying the angel will show up as an animal, not do anything,
Yeah.
and then later you will go and ascribe meaning to that symbol. Like that, the explanation, quote unquote, was just like, you figure it out.
Yeah.
Which is very funny to me.
Whatever you think it meant, that's what it meant.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, but I think there's a general consensus that that the angelic voice or whatever is tough for us to perceive, which is why we maybe get messages in these sort of more obscure ways, like signs or symbols or things like that. Like in ancient Hindu scripture and also in like Christian scripture, they talk about how like divine voices are meant to sound like thunder or things like that. Many interpretations claim that it's so powerful that the only way we can perceive it is through visions or blinding light or thunderous sound or things like that. So that's why, I mean, that's the sort of explanation for why we don't just get like letters.
Dearest human.
Yeah. Please take out the trash.
Yeah.
It's your turn.
It has been a fortnight since the last ones you bring
Still
down the
like
trash.
a letter from the trench, but
Yeah.
it's about taking out the
Yeah.
trash.
Yeah.
So because we've sort of set up the lore that we can't fully perceive an angel's voice or divine message in the way that it might be directly delivered, it means that there's a lot of room for interpretation, and sometimes this goes poorly. Some people claim that they have been given messages from God or from angels. Some people even claim that they've heard it as a voice in their head, where they're driving and they say, and it says like, "Don't go to work today," and then they don't, and then something bad happened at the office or something like that. Or some people do claim that it's almost like they're being guided, like physically, like they feel like a hand on their hand or whatever, and it directs them to do something or wave at someone or grab something, and then that changes the course of their life or whatever. It also, in a very dark way, but connected to this episode, there are people that have been compelled to murder because they claimed that God or an angel told them to do it.
God told me to make this podcast. It's not my fault.
I mean, we're kind of murdering the medium.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
So I found like an article about a guy in Florida who killed a bunch of people, and he said, "I'm doing what God tells me to do." And he doesn't mean it like metaphorically, like these people are living in sin or something.
Yeah,
he
no.
meant like literally God was like, "You should 86 this guy." There'll be a briefcase under a bench in the park.
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah. There'll be a picture in it from God. That's your next target.
I mean, he says it's God. It couldn't be anybody else.
No. Gad. Josh Gad.
Oh no! It was there all along.
You had all the clues. But yeah, basically, yeah, this murderer like claimed that he was being summoned by God, essentially. The reporter said, "Do you have anything to say, Stanley?" And the guy said, y'all will
Stanley's not here.
Y'all will see God, and there's going to be an angels and demons fight from God. Reporter said, "Angels and demons fight from God. What does that mean?" And Mossberg said, "There's a war everybody will see."
Y'all gonna make me lose my mind up in here.
Yeah. And then he said, X gonna give it to you.
Oh no.
Oh, X.
He gonna gave it to himself.
I'm so sad about that.
I
Yeah.
know.
But yeah, I mean, so we see all these things. They go from these like benign things where it's like, and I didn't go rock climbing that day and it saved my life, to like a guy that's like, yeah, God told me to murder these children or whatever. Like,
Yikes.
it runs the full gamut. I mean, technically, all of those things are in character for God.
I mean,
between
yeah.
Old Testament and New Testament,
Yeah.
it's not really like there's not.
Can't be like, well, that's not my God.
Yeah, I mean, it's all part of the mythos. It's in there.
Yep.
But it's pretty crazy. And it does seem to be interesting that it's not consistent. It's not like, ghost lore is pretty
Ghost lore.
is pretty
We're facing
consistent
lore,
about
but the lore is
sometimes
ghost.
things move or we know what ghosts can do, but this, like, getting messages from the divine seems like it could be anything.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's something like, I looked at a leaf and the leaf told me to do this.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like a literal voice in their head, or sometimes they feel like they're not in control of their body and they're doing something else, or something like sometimes it comes in a dream. Like, it's literally different for everyone, which is sort of the fascinating thing about this idea. And it's why it's actually a little bit hard to look up. Like, sometimes I type things into Google and then it just takes me to a Wikipedia page about it, and then I go from there. For this one, it was like, I actually had to dig more and I had to be more specific to find like instances of it, because it's so varied and out there.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go.
Mr. Boombastic, very fantastic.
You're still doing the penguin.
Yeah. I need to find another one, and I was happy with the one I did.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
It's very good. Well, with that,
X gonna give it to you.
oh no.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Same old shit.
So far from where we started.
I know, like, we've got like 7 references
In
away
the
from
arms of the angel.
Sarah McLachlan.
Yeah.
You brought it back to Angels, though.
Yeah,
I'm impressed with that.
this is where I'm here, right? I'm bringing it back.
Yeah.
Let's get into today's episode.
All right. I'm gonna do the entire episode.
As oh my God, I would love that. All right.
Get in Providence.
We're in Providence, Rhode Island.
Cold open. A woman named Gloria is sitting watching TV in her house and smoking. She kind of looks a bit like a wreck.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a lot of cigarettes in the ashtray. She's got all those stone angels that kind of make me think of Doctor Who on the
my
side table.
God.
Make me think of the Weeping Angels.
The Weeping Angel scared the shit out of
Yeah.
me. Have you seen that we have the Weeping Angel tree topper?
Yeah, we have just one that hangs on the tree.
Yeah, it's scary as shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are these statues of angels on the desk next to her. She's
Got a real goth look to her, though.
Totally. I'm kind of into it. She comes across a program with a man talking about God. Did you ever watch any of those shows? Like Did you?
Why would I watch
Well, I
that?
just mean to like see, like just because out of curiosity.
No, God, I'm not curious about it.
I mean, you're curious about things, just maybe not that.
Just not that, yeah.
She
She turns the TV off and then it turns itself back on, and the guy keeps saying, like, all you gotta do is listen. Can't you hear
all you
this?
have to do is trust me.
All you have to do is trust. I just want to look at you. Hey.
Something that turns.
Tell me something, girl.
Tell me something, girl.
Fuck. Oh, we're so off the rails here. The lights start flickering. The house is shaking.
The man's getting like louder and talking more intense
Yeah.
about God. She's trying to turn off the TV, but it won't turn on. Everything suddenly starts shaking. The man on the TV gets even louder. She
Yeah.
stands up and sees a bright light behind her. She turns around and she can almost see a shape in the middle.
Yeah, it almost looks like Sauron, like the
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the necromancer kind of look. Yeah,
She mouths, "My God," and we get the title sequence.
yeah. It's good. It's effective. It's a lot of those kind of poltergeisty things, and then that blinding light is something new we haven't gotten before. And you're like, oh shit,
What's this about?
Yeah.
We now flash to a mental institution sometime later.
Yep.
Sam is disguised as an orderly interviewing Gloria, who is now in a psychiatric facility.
Yeah.
But she seems completely different now. She's got like her shit together.
She seems like
even though she's crazy,
at
she's
peace.
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
not. She does not dress like a goth, so she knows. She's all right.
Yeah. Because everybody who's a goth is not all right, and everybody who is, that's how you know the difference.
I think that's in Leviticus.
Yeah. Thou shalt not wear black makeup.
Or those bands with the spikes on them.
Yes, those areth bad.
Nice.
Yeah, nailed it. Gloria claims that an angel told her to do it. They discuss her vision.
Yeah.
She admits just like murdering the man. She's very much just like, oh, you want to talk about how I murdered that guy?
Yeah, she stabbed a guy in the heart. And
Yeah.
She said it was God's will. And
Yeah, God wanted me to do it.
Sam's trying to figure it out. He said, like, God talked to you? And she said, I got the sense God's a little busy. He sent someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was an angel. And you see, it sort of shakes Sam. Like, you can tell that Sam's not immediately sort of like, well, fuck off. Like,
Yeah.
this is a different Sam than we saw in the previous episode. We get this more empathetic Sam. Right away.
We're back to a more regular Sam. But also, like,
He's had some Metamucil. He's feeling regular.
yeah. But yeah, so
She
Sam is trying to like figure out what the inconsistency
Yeah.
is. He said, so you heard the word of God, but the word of God was to kill someone? And she says, I helped smite an evil man.
Yeah.
Like, I helped him, or I was chosen,
It filled me with a feeling I can't explain.
Yeah. And then Sam says, like, how did you know who to kill? Like, did the angel give you a name? Or
Yeah.
she says, no, it's like a vision. I saw it. It was a sign. I saw it by the guy's door, and I just knew it was like, I knew it in my heart. Like, that was
Yeah.
the connection.
That he was
And
guilty in my deepest foundations.
His deepest foundations.
Oh, yeah.
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 I want to feel it in my deepest foundation.
Oh, Jesus.
And that she basically what she did was important, and that she was chosen, and that the man she killed was totally guilty.
Oh, I forgot about this.
Then we flash to the motel. Sam returns to a motel room where Dean is keeping a low profile after his media exposure during the bank siege in Milwaukee.
Look at this motel with the weird, like, pinup, like,
I know.
like Afro pinup
I
thing
know.
on the
So funny.
and the massage beds. It's such a skeevy motel.
Dean is laying on a bed getting the like massage.
Like the coin massage thing.
Yeah, he's listening to music in his headphones. If you look on the music player, it says that he's playing Led Zeppelin's album "Houses of the Holy."
Right.
One of the songs albums is "No Quarter," and later on in this moment, Dean runs out of quarters when using the magic finger. So it's a connection to a song from the album.
That's very funny.
No, sorry. It's if you look at the music player, it reads Led Zeppelin "Kashmir" from the 1975 album "Physical Graffiti." But the song that actually, when you're listening to in media streaming, is "Nazareth's Hair of the Dog."
Nazareth. Yeah,
Yeah.
baby.
But Sam basically relates his story. The victim seemed normal, a churchgoer. Basically, the guy that she killed, like, it doesn't seem like a guilty guy. And
Yeah.
he went to church. He seemed like a good person. Everybody really liked him.
Sam said he couldn't find any dirt on him. He didn't have
Yeah.
a criminal record. He worked at the library. He's
Yeah.
a nice guy. He had friends.
Didn't make any sense, right? But this is the second murder because of angels in this town.
Yeah. Yeah, and Sam is like, it's the full thing. She says, like blinding white light, feeling like the spirit in her, all this kind of stuff. And Dean is like, I mean, it's not angels.
Yeah, he scoffs at the idea of angels.
And then Sam says, why not? And Dean says, there's no such thing. And then Sam's like, Dean, there's so much written about angels and so
Like,
much
way more lore
written about angels than the stuff we hunt. Like, we go after stuff all the time. How could you not believe in angels? And then Dean is like, because we've never seen one. I don't believe in unicorns either.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly, right? They talk about the validity of angels. And Dean sort of is like, yeah, I've never seen them. No one I've ever heard of has ever seen them. They basically this is the second time they've had this conversation, right? Because we got it in the first season.
Yeah.
And so the first season was like, his interpretation was nothing bad. Nothing good ever happens. How could there be good things out there, right?
Yes, yeah.
And so now he's going a bit deeper and going like, okay, you want to
Because
actually
if they're
get into
out there
it.
and they're not doing all
Yeah.
of the good, then how good could they even be?
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So now they're basically going, well, okay, if you want to think that they exist, well, like no one's ever seen them, so explain that.
Yeah.
They then go on to talk about Gloria, but Sam said that there was nothing. Like they're like, maybe we should go to her house, and he goes,
Yeah.
I already was there. There was nothing. So they decide to go. Maybe it's time they can go to the victim's house instead. Maybe there's some sort of connection there. At least we can like figure out that, because Gloria is like, he did the
Yeah.
EMF. Like there's
Well,
nothing.
yeah, Dean's being shitty. He's like, oh, you didn't find a big white fluffy feather? Because Dean is like, it's a demon or a spirit
Yeah.
that just finds someone that's already a little unhinged and convinces them that they're an angel. And like, he's like, this isn't as complicated as you're making it.
Exactly. So they get in the Impala and they proceed to Carl Gully's house, the victim.
Yeah.
They're going to at least try to find out there.
Dean's wearing the
good jacket?
the big
Oh, the
gross
bad jacket.
Yeah.
You don't like this one.
No, I don't. Completely.
You want the more like military one?
I kind of like the shorter jacket. It just
Yeah.
looks better on him.
Better fit. Tighter fit.
Yeah.
They get to this guy's house and he's got like we get like an angel sort of like Christmas decoration sitting on his front porch.
Dean's like, look, Sam, a sign.
Yeah.
he's being a real shithead about it.
He is. But there's all this mail piled up on his house because he's, dead. So all that's going to happen. But they just keep.
Yeah, what Dean says here is like, this guy learned a valuable lesson. You take down your Christmas decorations before New Year's, or you get filleted by a hooker from God.
Jeez.
Just like, Jesus, Dean, like a guy is still dead,
Yeah.
man. Like, we get it. You don't believe in angels. Just stop being such an asshole.
So they realize that they're not going to be able to just walk through the front door. So they decide that if they're going to break in, they're going
Dude,
to
lots of houses have these
storm.
storm doors and stuff in the States. I mean, I know they don't film this in the States, but like, I don't think I've ever seen a house with this, like the storm cellar, like, those kind of big
Feels like
doors in the ground kind of thing.
Feels like a Tornado Alley, like Midwest kind of thing.
But we lived in Tornado Alley.
I guess, but not really.
You're goddamn right, really.
I mean, there was two tornadoes, but I never really saw like anything ever happen.
We always had tornado drills in school and
we
stuff
did too,
like
but I
that.
never
Like,
actually heard of anybody's like shit getting destroyed.
Oh yeah, I mean that would happen, but
I
I
just-
guess I just mean like I've never encountered an actual house with one of those storm cellars, but I see them on TV all the time.
I feel like it's more of like the Midwest in the United
Right.
States kind of thing. But so they decide that they're going to investigate the basement. They break in, go down there and start investigating. That's when they notice fingernails embedded in the wall.
Ugh, you don't like that.
Nope, that's never a good sign of anything.
hate to
right?
see it.
Yep, that's not a thing that I enjoy.
Oh,
Not
it's like
even
a
once.
full fingernail. Ugh.
I know. Yeah, it's so
Okay,
rough.
is that grosser than the shapeshifter skin? I say yes.
no.
Really?
I watched that while eating last night and I was okay. I could not stomach the
Right.
skin.
Gotcha.
So I think that's my barometer is if I cannot eat while watching it. I actually got more hungry when I watched that.
Uh-oh. Yeah, they start digging because they're like, you don't just find fingernails in a wall. That's not good.
No.
They start digging, they find a skeleton, and then they go like, well, whatever this thing was that told Gloria to kill this guy, it knew what it was talking about.
Yeah,
Because
'cause-
this guy clearly kidnapped and killed someone.
Well, yeah. I hope no one ever finds skeletons anywhere else near me because they just immediately make me responsible. I mean, you don't know. This guy could have. This could be a skeleton from a previous tenant.
Previous owner.
Yeah.
Yeah, it came with the house.
Yeah, exactly. We then go to the next scene. We open on a shot of a drunkard, Zach. We see a graphic novel open on his chest. It is Theseus versus Cannibal. Since
Yeah.
publishers care so much about cover art and the word is spelled cannibal, like Cannibal, but it's actually in this one it's spelled Cannabal. This may be a prop made for the show. While Theseus slew the Minotaur, a cannibal monster, the pose on the cover is taken from Antonio Canova's sculpture of Theseus slaying a centaur.
Oh, there you go.
We see him witness a bright light. We then cut
It's
to
such
him.
an erudite comic to read.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to read about Theseus.
Yeah, because no nerd has ever been like erudite before. We see him witness a bright light, and then we cut to him outside following this bright light.
Yeah, and then he sees a bright light like at another place, which is like, I guess, like the sign.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
And he like nods creepily, and oh god, yeah.
Yeah, he walks straight up to this stranger's house and just like proceeds to like knock on the door. I mean, the confidence you would have to, because I mean, I feel like if somebody even made
But
me
that's
feel
the confidence of God, right? Like
Yeah.
it's the like God tells you to do something. Be like, I guess I'm doing it. Like,
I know, but I still would be so like uncertain. I feel like I'd be like, okay, but like, yeah, could you just like,
yeah, and he just goes like, "Hi, my name is Zach," and the guy goes, "Can I help you?" And he just fully stabs him in the heart.
Yeah, just
Ugh.
right to death.
Yeah, it's so fucked up.
Yeah, we then flash back to the motel. Back at the motel. Oh yeah, so we're listening to the radio right now.
Yeah, like the police blotter.
Yeah, exactly. Dean keeps looking back at the magic fingers machine and sighing.
I mean, are those actually good? Like,
no idea. Sam shows back up and Dean immediately starts asking for quarters for the magic fingers. And Sam's like, I'm not enabling your sick habit.
I guess what I mean is like, what's he getting out of it?
I want to know.
Oh, he's so lonely.
Yeah, I'll give him magic fingers.
Oh God, he can magic finger me. Oops.
Oh, did that?
It said the quiet part loud.
There it is. Yeah. They discuss Zach's murder. The fact that basically, Dean says, did Roma Downey made him do it. For 9 seasons, Roma Downey played the Angel in a CBS series, Touched by an Angel.
Yes, and they've already made a Touched by an Angel like explicit reference in the show. Too.
Yes, yeah. Which is very funny because I wonder how many people actually remember that show.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely like an older reference.
I remember that show came out. I watched that show first few episodes.
Oh, I never watched it.
Yeah.
Not in my house. They were like, Touched by an Angel? No.
It felt sci-fi. I think that's why I liked it.
Oh, no. Anything religious in my house was
Oh.
a big no-go.
Fair. They decide they're going to break into the victim's house once again. They break into his house and they start kind of looking around. Sam immediately goes for the computer and is going to hack it. He's going to hack the computer. He's in.
I know, but was this just a few episodes ago we talked about this too? Like Sam hacking is just him guessing passwords until he gets it right.
Exactly.
Like he's not like going in through the back. He's just keeps typing passwords until he gets in. Like,
I know.
It's not hacking. It's just guessing.
I mean, that is a version of hacking, to be fair.
I guess.
That's social hacking, but
Right.
to be
Fine, whatever. But they find a bunch of these emails like
oh god
to this person named Jenny, and then Sam goes, "She's 13 years old."
Ugh.
Uh-oh.
They find out that they were actually going to meet the same day that they're looking at all this stuff. So the day after he got murdered.
Yeah.
They were supposed to meet up, and you can only assume what might have happened.
Ugh. Oh god, it's just so. Yeah, I mean, like these people that are getting killed are not even just like these aren't minor sins.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, he stole a chocolate bar or something.
Yeah.
Like it's
I'm terrified to be a parent.
every day, everything.
Just like everything's out to get them.
And also, I mean, if you go down that
Yeah.
rabbit hole, statistically, if something's going to happen, it's going to happen in your circle of trust,
Oh,
which is even
God.
worse.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah. They once again start arguing about the validity of the angel theory when suddenly Dean discovers that both victims attended the same church.
Yeah. Our Lady of the Angels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now they have a direct connection. So they head to the church and speak to Father Reynolds. And man, can this guy rap? He's a Reynolds rap.
What?
Reynolds rap.
What?
Plastic wrap.
I don't know what's happening.
Reynolds
here.
wrap is a plastic wrap brand.
Okay, that's a good joke.
They begin discussing the murders that had happened.
I like this guy playing Father Reynolds. Good,
Solid
really,
casting.
really solid actor.
Yeah.
And yeah, and they're saying do they say they come from like a different parish or something like that?
I think
Like
so. Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I know a Father Shaughnessy. Or
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
like-
And he says, I know. I came from this parish with Father O'Brien. And he's like, I know a Father Shaughnessy from there. And he's like, oh, what did I say? That's what I said.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, they basically they talk about he says he likes having some young blood in there. It's good. They talk about the Archangel Michael.
Yeah.
For a moment.
Yeah, I mean, Dean is like, so you don't believe these people when they say angels told them to do it? And he goes, I do believe it kind of comes with the job, but like, you know, it doesn't mean that the murders are like good or anything like that. And then their discussion about Michael is that angels are, you know,
Wrathful.
God's warriors.
Yeah.
That they, you know, it's, you know, the divine smiting, all that kind of
Like he's
stuff,
like
right?
I prefer the like loving God and angel stuff, but like
that doesn't mean that they all are.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That like there's definitely all of this side of wrath and stuff, but overall he doesn't really like give them any real information until they head outside, and just as the guys are leaving, he mentions his fellow clergyman, Father Gregory.
Yeah, because they see like a little sort of makeshift. I don't know what you call it, like a shrine or whatever.
Yeah.
Just on the steps of the church, people are lighting candles, and
Yeah.
leaving flowers and stuff. So he's a different priest died, and he's been interred in the crypt in the church. And
Exactly.
stuff like that.
And they sort of have a discussion about sort of the how like bad the neighborhood is that they're in.
Yeah, he got shot or stabbed or something in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And the priest says he didn't even have time to do last rites
Yeah.
for this other priest. He died
Instantly,
quick,
yeah. I don't love the whole like, you know, this neighborhood is
Yeah, you know, I am a priest in a not white neighborhood. I mean, at least the episode, the people that are getting killed so far are white.
yeah, that is
They
nice.
didn't go
Yes.
there.
Yes.
But yeah, there is a heavy implication of like, I'm a church in the city.
Yes.
Like,
no, not that part.
no,
The-
not the town.
Yes.
Not uptown.
No, in the
Like
city.
inner city.
Yeah.
Like,
Like inside the city, some might call inner
wink.
wink. They talk about how bad the neighborhood. Dean thinks that based on all this information, it sounds like this might be actually Father Gregory doing these.
Yeah, he's like,
He's a vengeful
again,
spirit.
it's a spirit.
Yeah. Making people kill parishioners whose guilty secrets he knew because he was people confessed to him, right? So he's got an inside information.
And Dean is like, since like
Why
since
do you-
when are you all like, oh yeah, like angels exist, whatever? And Sam's like, I pray every day, and Dean's like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
And now Sam's the one who's skeptical, and he thinks that it's God at work, and reveals basically that he prays. And Dean asks, when did Sam become all 700 Club? 700 Club is a show that aired since 1966, which featured news from a biblical perspective and holds interviews and discussions regarding religious practices.
yeah.
You're holding so much back.
Yeah, I just mean like, fuck them.
The boys return to investigate the church's crypt later
Yeah,
on.
and they're down there, and Sam sees like a statue shaking, and he turns around and he sees the light.
Yeah, they it's a very quick cut. You don't see anything, basically. You don't even see, you just know.
Yeah.
You can infer what happened. But basically, Dean finds Sam passed out on the ground. So from whatever the vision he had, basically seemed to like knock him out or something. And they discuss the experience. Basically,
But Sam is like, he's like not scared. He's like, holy crap, like it happened.
yeah, like it's real.
Yeah.
He's like, it didn't hurt me. Like he's like, I saw an angel.
Yeah.
Like he's immediately convinced.
Yeah. And Dean is like, oh, come on. And he gives Sam something to drink.
Sam's just like, I don't need to drink anything. Like I don't want it. Like you can start feeling like,
I actually thought Dean was gonna like. I didn't think it was booze. I thought it was like holy water. I thought he was gonna like test if Sam was possessed or something.
Yeah.
I know they've got the amulet. Do we?
Yeah.
Yeah. They've got the amulets. But I still think I thought maybe that was a thing.
This is what happens when we record episodes
I know,
order.
out of order. Now I've forgotten like what's happened. Yeah.
But basically, he's like, it spoke to me. It knew who I was. It basically like gave me these orders, and Dean's just like, look, like people can read minds. It doesn't mean you're a fucking angel. Like
exactly. It's like,
he's like, yeah, it gave me a signal, and Dean's like, oh, so you just have to like guess it, like you didn't ask who it was. He's like, oh no, I did. He's like, I asked like who was I supposed to go after? The angel told me. He hasn't done anything yet, actually. And he's just like, wait, what? And
like a Minority Report situation.
Yeah, but based on his skin color, we can infer,
because this is a dangerous part of town.
we can infer that he's going to do something bad.
Let's just say he lives in the city.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a pretty heated argument here. This is an interesting character beat. I mean, again, we have talked about this with these guys before, but Dean is very, considering that they hunt all manner of creature. Dean is very like, angels do not exist. He's basically saying good things don't exist. Bad things exist. We killed them, and that's about as good as it gets.
And you find out that Dean finally admits the real reason, which is that he's like, our mom every single night like said angel were watching us, and then clearly they weren't because she was murdered. So we realize that, of course, this
and he
is...
says there's no higher power. There's no God.
Yeah, this is a mommy issue.
It's just chaos and violence.
Yeah. And that's sort of the real reason. He's just like, everything's unpredictable, evil. You can't assume that someone's going to protect you because there's no one out there they didn't protect us.
Yeah.
So how could there possibly be anybody out there? Yeah, there's no proof.
Yeah, it's an interesting discussion. 'Cause
Yeah.
Sam is obviously, he's had this experience seeing the thing,
Yeah.
but he was also ready to believe anyway. It's neat to see them be like completely not on the same page.
Exactly. But the way that they decide to figure it out was where they're like, let's summon him, and like he shows up, it's a spirit.
It's a spirit.
Yeah. It'll work, right? So they decide to go back to the crypt and do the summoning.
Can you just go into a crypt in a random church? Like, it's not like this is like a tourist church or something. Like,
Have you ever like been into a church in the middle of the day? Often they're just like completely empty and you can like wander around.
Yeah, I mean, I have, but also just not necessarily just random churches. I think I've only like,
I have.
As a tourist, I'll go to like the big church in a special city or something.
I've just like wandered into a church as like a kid or something, and they're just
really?
like empty.
I've never just done that.
Yeah. As a kid alone in a church, it seemed like a good idea.
Yeah. And that's where the memory ends.
Yep. Yeah, I remember waking up a few days later. I don't understand.
Jesus Christ. That's so dark. Oh no.
But yeah, they make the decision that they're going to do this like seance, which is hilarious.
And Sam's kind of against it, and Dean is like, we don't have to go on faith. We can know for sure if we do the seance and summon the spirit, that's what it is. And if it doesn't show up, then we keep investigating.
Yeah. So they go to a corner store to get supplies necessary for summoning. Because, at every corner store...
But they couldn't get, like, an altar cloth, so he has, like, a SpongeBob placemat or something.
Very funny.
Yeah. And then as they're getting supplies, Sam sees, like, the sign. He does tell Dean.
Yeah.
But he goes, that's him. We have to stop him. But it is interesting that he still tells Dean. It's not like it totally just takes him and he does it like a Terminator or whatever.
No.
He's still informing Dean, but then Sam is also going after him. It's just an odd setup. You'd think they would go like, and then Sam is not Sam for a little bit.
Yeah.
But he definitely is.
Yeah. And he heads to stop him and Dean keeps him from it. So they go, okay, let's go together, right? So we'll get in the Impala and Dean
we'll tail him.
Yeah, Dean gets into the Impala and locks Sam out. He decides that he's good because he's like, look, he's like, I don't know if Sam's in his right mind at this point.
Yeah,
I'll deal with this.
I trust the pattern. Like this guy is probably bad, so I'll go after him.
Yeah.
But I can't have Sam there because I can't guarantee what he's going to do.
Exactly, right? So he decides he's going to go out and he tells Sam to go and perform the seance, right? That way Sam is safe and Dean will make sure that this guy... So he begins
He's tailing him so close.
Yeah. But most people probably don't know they're being tailed, so...
I always know when I'm being tailed.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm always paying attention for that.
Yeah.
One time I actually was, and then I drove past the cop and the guy drove away.
Wait, really?
I cut off a dude in traffic,
Wow.
and then the guy was like, and I would speed up and he would speed up like that. It was really scary. And then I just pulled near a cop and the guy drove away.
Oh, jeez.
But anyway, so he finds out this guy that he's been tailing is picking up a woman in his car.
He gives her flowers. They get in the
Mhm.
car. I think Dean's kind of like,
It's a date. Like what could go wrong?
yeah, yep. Once you agree to the date, then nothing goes wrong.
As long as he gives you flowers, that's a transaction.
So fucked up.
Oh no. We go back to the church, and Sam is beginning the process of the seance. All the candles are lit around. I don't see the SpongeBob placemat, but
Oh yeah,
that seems.
I would have like highlighted that.
I know,
You
that's-
mentioned it.
I know. It seems funny, right? He begins speaking in Latin. He's running through the spell. It's interesting, right? Because you're just. I always love the like sparkler thing that happens when
And then the door opens and
Father
the
Reynolds.
priest is like, "What are you doing? This looks like occult magic in my church."
Yeah, church magic don't really go together, which I love that his line is like, he's like, I can explain. He's like, actually, maybe I can't.
Yeah.
I love that he's like, this is a seance, which is just like in a house of God. Are
Yeah,
you
he's
fucking
like-
kidding me?
Yeah, he's like, "Come on, man."
I just love this line. He's like, it's based on early Christian rites, if that helps. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then the white light shows up. They both see it and
Yeah.
turn around.
I mean, the first time I watched this episode, I was like, oh shit. Like, are they actually bringing angels into the show?
Yeah, because I mean, like all the visual language
Yeah.
is angels, right?
Like,
And
I've
then-
never seen ghosts do anything like this
But
before.
Sam says, "No, it's Father Gregory."
Yeah. And
And
that's
then-
when he forms into the ghost of Father Gregory.
Yeah.
And he's like, I've come here to answer your prayers. Like, I'm here to do good. We go back, and Dean's continuing to follow this guy. Which, like, it's interesting, right? Because, there's a lot of these shots of just him driving, which I'm just like,
Well, yeah. Also, like, where is this date? They're still just driving in the suburbs,
in the middle
like,
of the dark. Yeah.
You're not going anywhere.
We go back to Sam, who is crestfallen, knowing that this man is just a spirit. He tells Father Gregory that he is not an angel.
Yeah,
He's like, because he's basically like, no, I'm an angel.
I'm definitely an angel. And
Yeah.
Sam's like, "No, you're a spirit.
And
I summoned you."
Father Reynolds like, you're a man. Like, men can't be spirit. Men can't be angels.
Yeah, I mean, that is part of angel lore.
Like, yeah, you don't like.
you don't become an angel.
No. There
When
are
you-
angels, and then when the angels are done, there's no more angels. Like,
Angels are a separate This is
Species. Yeah.
biblical. They are separate from man.
yeah. And I think it's. There's definitely like early like Disneyfication of Christianity where like people go up and become angels.
Well,
but
and I think in the evangelical kind of realm, there's
Yeah.
a lot of people that say like they're angels now. Or like I think
Yeah,
that
yeah.
line gets blurred a lot, but like biblically speaking, angels are a separate thing.
But we see that Father Gregory is not malevolent. He genuinely just thinks he's an angel doing good.
Yes.
He says he's here to help Father Reynolds. We go back, and Dean's now lost track of the man that he was following.
Yeah.
Which I was like, how are you that close, and then suddenly you lose track? Like, how bad of a tracker are you?
Yeah, he wasn't doing great. He stopped to get a sandwich. He's like, "Oh shit."
But the pie!
Yeah, so now he's got to drive around in the dark looking for the car he was supposed to be following.
They go back to the church, and they're discussing the need to kill wrongdoers. He's just like,
Yeah, Father Reynolds is like, "You were behind this," and he's like, "You're driving innocent people to kill," and then the Father, whatever his name, Gregory, says those innocent people are being offered redemption.
yeah.
They do this, they go to heaven.
Yeah. When talking to Father Thomas Ghost, Father Reynolds tells him that the Bible says "Thou shalt not kill." This is actually a misinterpretation of of Hebrew. The fifth commandment says "Thou shalt not murder." Shedding of the
Right. innocent
blood, murder, is different than shedding guilty blood, kill. The
Right.
Bible goes on and says that for if a man sheds the blood of a man, then by man shall his blood be shed. For man was made in the image of God, Genesis 9:6.
Right. Right.
Uh,
So it actually says you shouldn't kill
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes.
Yeah. It actually kind of proves that he was doing the right thing.
I mean, scripture.
Yeah, that's what I
yes,
mean.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yes, yeah.
but he's like, you prayed for me. He's like, I prayed for God's help, not for this. Like, what you're doing is not God's will.
Yeah. I mean, what a crazy day for this priest. Like, confirmation of the afterlife.
Yeah.
But also he has to say, like, but you're definitely not answering to God.
Yeah.
I think I also believe in.
Yeah. Your son.
This is what an insane day for this priest.
He's finding out that everything he believes in is true, but then also has to then be an expert on it.
Yeah. We cut to the car where the guy just like stops.
Oh God, this
randomly.
scene
He's
is
like, why
so...
did we stop?
And
then he kisses her. She says, like,
No, I'm
she
not
tells
into
him
this.
to stop, and then he slaps her and locks the
Ugh.
door. It's very.
I really hate the line where he goes like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I've never done this before."
And then he says, "I'm sorry," and then he has a knife. Like he knew what was happening.
"Well, that's
here.
why I think he says I've never done this before."
Oh.
I think he means that like he's gonna murder.
Oh,
this girl.
right. He was always going to murder her.
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, like, why is he prepared for this contingency?
And he also didn't say that. He also doesn't pull out a knife. He pulls out a box cutter.
Yeah, it's way
Ugh.
worse.
It's
Dean gets there in time and knocks him out and saves her, but then the guy
frees the woman, but the guy's still in the car and he drives away.
Yeah.
Which sucked. And he's just basically
Dean
like,
says, "Do you have a cell phone? Call 911."
"Oh,
And then-
remember the day and age where you could ask someone if they had a cell phone?"
Yeah. Do you have
Yeah,
one?
yeah. Not just use your cell phone, call somebody.
Yeah. Ugh.
It's a weird old tech situation there. We go back to the church. Father Reynolds continues to sort of argue with them, but they do eventually manage to convince him of the reality, and they decide that they're going to put Father Gregory's soul to rest.
Yeah, Father Reynolds is finally going to give him his last rites.
Which is interesting because this is the first time we've ever seen a way to sort of like rest a spirit in this show.
Yeah, and I mean, and
Because usually they have to like they have to like salt and burn the bones. They've got to do all those things, but it's like, oh, if you have a priest and they just do last rites, like that's interesting. It'd be a nice thing to have.
Yeah, it's true. Actually, yeah.
Like, I wonder if they
it
just,
seems
like-
more humane than like Oblivion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder how often if we just go to like all of these like asylums and stuff, and he just does last rites on everybody. Like,
Yeah.
it's a thing that we don't really ever see ever again on the show too.
Yeah, we're invoking the Archangel Raphael here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let the fire of the Holy Spirit. It's
I mean, I don't really know. Like, is this typical of last rites? You call on a specific archangel and stuff like that. But anyway, he says all this stuff, and then there's the blinding white light. This priest is like, "Holy shit!"
yeah. Everything is true.
He's like, "Oh boy."
Oh gosh. Oh God. If that's good. then-
Again, I mean, he is a genuinely devout priest. He already believed this stuff, but to have confirmation is a lot different than to have faith. Like,
Yeah.
this is a big day for him.
He's like, oh, I can't wait to rub this in my parents'
I
face.
almost think at that point you have to stop being a priest because you're like, oh, now this is actually too much pressure. I was fine shepherding people like in the good way, but
into like the too vague idea of good,
but now it's like actual souls are in the balance here.
Yeah.
This is
too much pressure.
I just talked to a fucking ghost of a priest who lost his way. If he can lose his way, then like
not good.
big day for Father Reynolds.
We now go back to Dean.
They should have called this episode Father Reynolds' Big Day. That should have been the French title.
Very, very big, good, great day.
Yeah. So Dean is chasing the guy. The guy goes like into traffic. A truck swerves and a metal pipe fucking impales the guy.
Instantly killing him, but in a way that feels real intense.
It feels very Final Destination-y.
Yeah.
Like feels like
the work of God, maybe.
Yeah.
Which
And
is,
even Dean is like, oh my Jesus. Like he's like that's
literally, yeah.
yeah. The pipe goes straight through the guy.
Which is what I love about that is that like they're going, look, maybe God and angels exist. That's not this guy. But
yeah. I do I love the like
they like leave a door open just to crack to be like, but maybe.
so good. So good. I mean, God, what a wild ride.
I'll never tell.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And so we cut back to the motel. Dean says, "How was your day?"
Sam explains.
Sam, I think, is feeling a little sheepish because it was definitively not an angel.
Yeah,
and he says, like, "Yeah, you were right. It was the priest. It was
Gregory.
It was just a spirit. I summoned him." And then Dean kind of goes. Dean is like both a little relieved, but also like, I don't know. I saw something today too, though.
It's funny that
I didn't see white light. I saw a pipe go through a guy, but it really felt like God.
Yeah, this is the first
felt
time.
like God laying some pipe.
I was just saying, like, it's the first time it wasn't on a video, but I saw some guy laying pipe.
Yeah.
But Sam explains to Dean why his faith is important to him. He's like, I wanted to believe so badly that I basically like I had made up this whole thing, but like I think that the idea is that like faith makes what they do easier, right?
Yeah, that they're
working towards something good.
Yeah, not just trying to bring chaos back to neutral, but actually like to right a wrong or do something like that. Yeah.
Like there's destiny and like intention and things like that.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, like, Dean doesn't love that, but he says like you don't have to worry about like a higher power or whatever. Like, I'm watching out for you. And Sam goes, "You're just one person, Dean."
But what's interesting is that Dean then describes sort of how that guy died.
Yeah.
And against his better instincts, he admits that he might think it's the hand of God.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because now it's like
they both have separate and opposite crises.
Yes.
And come to the sort of middle ground of like, I guess we have no idea.
But this is where you realize one of the big issues that for Sam is that he needs there to be good because maybe he can be saved because he knows there's this thing inside of him.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And that's it. That's the end of this episode.
Wow. Father Reynolds' big day. No good, very bad exorcism.
A very good, big, great day.
Yeah. I mean, really, like, he's just like, yeah, these two guys came to visit today. I think they're going to join the church. And then later he's like, oh, he summoned a ghost. God is real. This isn't an angel. I just banished a spirit to the nether realm.
Huh. Did he go to heaven? Do spirits go to heaven?
The words I said did something to his soul, which means that I am now personally responsible for what happened to him.
Yeah.
What an insane... I mean, if I'm that priest, I kill myself.
Or he's just like...
Or I guess you don't. Oh, no.
Yeah.
You're trapped in this hell.
Or he's like...
Hell on earth.
Oh, I have the power.
Yeah. He just starts giving last rites to everyone and killing them.
He's like, oh, I am a shepherd of the Lord.
Yeah. All roads lead to murder.
Yeah. Oh, he was right. He just didn't do it the right way. He didn't have my power. I'm not working for God. I am God.
Yeah. I am the Senate. Unlimited power.
Yeah, season 5, he becomes the villain. Yeah.
That'd be amazing. That would be amazing.
I love that. So, how did you like coming into this? Did you remember this episode? And
I did remember this one actually. When I saw it was coming up, I was like, oh, I know which one this one is.
Oh, really? I always forget this one.
I liked this one. I liked it because it was that. It was just that interesting thing of like, we know demons exist.
Yeah,
we know a few things about that, and
Yeah.
then to be presented with the idea of angels and have it scoffed at, and then be like, oh no, we actually haven't heard anything about them, and where are they if bad things are happening and all that kind of stuff. I was like, wow, fuck, like this show is like not shying away from like a very big question, you know?
Like it feels like they're gonna jump the shark at any moment.
And about faith and stuff like that, and to confirm some things and not others, and then you were like, oh fuck, like God, it's just wild, you know, that way where it's like maybe we're just like, because they use Latin and exorcism, like they use Christian things against demons.
Yeah.
But then to say like, but that's the only thing we have confirmation of is like, oh Jesus, we only know the bad exists. Like I remember watching this episode and being like, that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Like that's a pretty big thing to drop partway through a season. I know that at the end here, they sort of tie it to Sam and his own thing and what's happening to him. And
But they're still like winking towards something way bigger than what we've dealt with to this point.
it's big. Yeah, there's some big questions.
Because we haven't even really dealt with hell. Like,
No.
like we know that demons exist and you can make presumptions about maybe hell, but at the end of the day, you're just like,
because the Crossroad Demon knows
Yeah.
about John and
Yeah.
stuff. So we know that there is an elsewhere, and it's
Yeah.
probably not great. We know. Oh wait, which episode? Is this? No, we will know. We'll get a further confirmation of some of this stuff in next week, which we recorded out of order. But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, there's just so much and it's that idea of like, there's lots of lore about angels, but they say like, no hunter's ever seen one. No, like, it's not like a vampire where they go like, oh yeah, I think I saw like a note about that or something. They're just like, angels don't exist.
Yeah.
It
Like
was
even
a pretty
demons, we have an idea. We know that like there's we're not like we don't know a ton about them, but we've heard stuff.
Yeah, and you almost get the sense that like they are their own thing, but we have now like mapped. Like the Christian stuff that's in there might be real, but it's been mapped onto Christianity.
Yeah.
So it's like there doesn't have to be the duality of these
No.
things. It's just such like I don't know. It's just a lot of interesting questions come up in this episode. I think it's well acted. I think this scene at the end with Sam and Dean is very strong. We're with both of them being like, I think we were both right and wrong.
It makes sense that like Sam
It's a
has
very-
faith and stuff.
Very
because-
good scene between them, and I
Yeah.
think it's very well acted. I really like Father Reynolds. I think he's great. Like a guy that's like, yeah, my job is faith. I believe
Yeah.
in God. Then he's like, oh my.
Oh wait,
God.
I actually know that this is real now.
That I mean, what a again, Father Reynolds, very big day.
Mhm.
Father Gregory, you barely get to very much of him.
Mhm.
But I do, that tying in of like, it's like a divine calling, but it's also bad. But
Yeah.
then those people were bad. But then is that still like, you're making unrelated people do these murders? It's like, now you're implicating them. Like, is it for redemption? It's like, there's a lot of very complicated ecumenical questions in there. I like this episode. I think it's good. I don't think it's the greatest episode. I think some of the visuals actually let it down a little
Really?
bit. I like the look of the light and stuff like that, but I guess I don't know. I think I just wanted something else out of it.
Really?
Maybe it's
Oh.
because the visual language feels confused, because we've seen spirits before and stuff, but the light's never been part of it. So it's like, is it just because he's a priest? Is it because he thought he was an angel that the light shows up?
Possibly.
And that's a fine explanation, but I think I look at it and I go like, I know we're trying to do the misdirect of it's an angel,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
then it's like, but now it's like, what have we set up?
Yeah.
Like every time a spirit thinks they're an angel, does a light show up? Or like, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, this came up.
I think because the show has such a consistent internal language, this piece is like, was that only in there to fuck with us as the audience?
I mean, this goes back to the lightning hands thing, right? Though
I suppose that's true too. Yeah,
it's-
right. In the asylum,
there's a
episode.
direct connection to like what they were.
Yeah, that's a
life.
fair point. Yeah, fine. I'll give you that. I like this episode. Do I like it as much as last week? Last week's was just so goddamn exciting.
Yeah.
This week's is good. I think I'm gonna give it 4.25 very big days.
Oh, nice.
I think it's a really solid episode. It asks some really good questions. I don't know that I care that much about the people being murdered or the people doing the murdering.
Yeah,
They're all
they
kind
don't
of
even really show it. They
they're
show
all
it
kind
one.
of throwaways, which is
Yeah.
almost the point of the episode, but not in a way that feels satisfying.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But a lot of what this episode is doing works.
Yeah, so much of it is like a vessel for this conversation.
Yeah.
I think.
And I think that's why maybe some of those other things get forgotten. Some of that stuff's a little sloppy, but the heart of the episode's pretty good.
yeah, they definitely breeze through a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe
Because we don't even go back and visit like the first person again late. Like we don't have a bookend scene of Sam like sneaking back in as an orderly and being like, I saw it too. Or, like you feel like you want some kind of like hook or resolution, or maybe now that the spirit is gone, they realize that it wasn't
Yeah.
I feel like I want to follow up with them, and we don't get to.
And then maybe we could have cut away from like too much of following that guy in the car.
Yes.
There was way too much of that.
Yeah, maybe that's how I feel about it, is that those people were just a little too throwaway for me.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think that I like the conversation because, again, anytime an episode sort of opens up a larger door to a bigger conversation, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, give me more. Give me like how big does this go?
Yeah.
Like, where does it end?
I mean, God, I've got an answer to all those questions.
All of them are inside of you. It's definitely an interesting one. That being said, like, and the fathers both are really well casted. Really good job. A lot of the day players are sort of like throwaways for sure. Besides them, I definitely like the conversation. There's some funny. The magic fingers things is kind of funny.
Yeah, but again, it's like
that is a through line throughout the whole series.
Are those massage things like in any way like satisfying or erotic?
They
feel like it would just feel like
Dean's,
riding like a mechanical bull. Like it wouldn't be enjoyable.
They make Dean see God.
Yeah.
I've
seen God, Sammy. Give me a quarter.
I do like it because it's a through line throughout the whole series.
Yes, that's true.
Which I really like, but that part's a nice piece. But yeah, it feels both like rushed and then some parts seem a bit too long.
Yeah.
So I am going to give this a flat 3.75.
Not flat.
SpongeBob placemats.
So below 4.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's how I feel about it.
Interesting. We've had a couple of episodes this season where we don't line up as close as we usually do.
No, I know.
This is the schism.
Oh, I'm gonna schism all over your face.
Okay, come on. Come on.
That is it for this week. If you have a note about this or a past, maybe a future episode that we're going to talk about, something you want to make sure we mention or something that you have noticed yourself, why don't you reach out to us or just talk to us about Supernatural or anything really nerdy on our email. Ghostfacerspodcast@gmail.com.
Sorry, I saw the light and I whited out there.
Is it the schism?
Yeah. Yeah, where did all this schism come from?
Or reach out to us on our various social media platforms.
Ghostfacers Pod at
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're on all of those platforms using that tag. And if you want,
God told me to fuck up the outro.
You're doing God's will.
Doing God's work.
Yeah. Speaking of doing God's work, why don't you listen to our other podcast?
No, it's the Dr. DC podcast.
Jesus Christ.
We talk about comic books. We answer listener questions.
Yeah.
We've talked about God actually a lot over on that podcast somehow. But yeah, it's a ton of fun. You can find it wherever you find your podcasts.
Say goodbye, bitch.
Sure.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.